Hi, I'm Auntie Dawn. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making wok-fried rice. The first time I made fried rice here, it was in a frying pan. I'll put that link in the description below, along of course with the recipe. This time I'm making it in a wok. I'm still pre-cooking all of the ingredients in a frying pan, but the rice frying and all the final assembly is going to happen in a 16-inch steel wok. I'm going to start by prepping my ingredients, starting with the garlic. Got 3 cloves here. Give them each a good smash, skin them, and chop. Want fairly small pieces because you don't really want a large piece of garlic in your fried rice. I don't know if you can hear Lily, but she is in the outer darkness wailing about the insufficiency of entertainment in her life. So this is about what we want. There's my chopped garlic. Next, I'm going to chop my shallot. One cut through, and then 2 cuts, and then a fairly small dice. And there's my chopped shallots. Next, I'm going to prep my dried mushrooms. I've got oyster mushrooms here, a mix of standard white oysters and some king oyster mushrooms. If you've seen the very enjoyable video, So Dang Dark, king oyster mushrooms are the bunch of mushrooms that Rhett takes that big bite of. I recognize that bundle of king oyster mushrooms. That's just the one they sell at 99 Ranch Market. So I want to make pretty small pieces here. I want this to fry into pieces that you hardly even notice. They just add some flavor and a little bit of bite. It's interesting. Sometimes if I'm having a tough time getting through one layer of dried mushroom, adding a second layer sometimes makes it easier. I think you're compressing it less. And there are my dried mushrooms. Next, I'm going to scrub my carrots, the thin stream of water and a rough scrubby sponge. I always prefer to leave the skins on as much as I can. That seems to be where so much of the flavor and the nutrition are. I want to dry them very well because these are going into a fried rice. As little water as can be on them is best. Water is the enemy of the crunch. So I just want little bitelets of carrot here. I want them to cook quickly and for there to be at least one in every bite of fried rice. And starting from here, I'm going to cut it in half and get slices like that. Now I'm getting close enough to the end of the carrot that I'm going to take another half cut this way. So there's a little X in the middle there. That will give me nice little bites. All right, and that's getting tough to cut through. So that's it for that carrot. You can see this carrot has a much steeper profile. So I'm just going to get a couple cuts off the end for little slices and then go ahead with my half cut for a few more to get slices like that. And there's my chopped carrot. Next, I'm going to wash my zucchini. Zucchini is a very wet ingredient, so I'm going to want to make nice even chops of this and get a good even cook on it to avoid transferring very much of that moisture to my fried rice. The main thing is just adding all of the wet ingredients right at the end after the fried rice is already nice and crispy crunchy. So slices like that. And there's my chopped zucchini. So today for my protein, instead of chicken, I've got leftover Lao sausage from a restaurant we went to last week. It's really nice and it's got a bit of spice in it, so I'm not going to need to add very much spice other than this. I'm making fairly small slices because it is so spicy. Don't want any one bite to be overwhelming. And there's my chopped sausage. So the sausage also came with some matchstick ginger, which I'm going to chop up to go in. That's why I'm not having to actually break it down from a knob of ginger. It's always nice to get another use out of a product that somebody already put so much work into. There's my chopped ginger. I also have some frozen peas fish sauce. This is the Good Golden Boy premium stuff. Peanut oil. 3 different vintages of already cooked brown rice. Cilantro. And peanuts. Okay, now I'm going to turn on my vent fan, since I already have a window open, and turn the heat on under my small frying pan to medium. So while I wait for this pan to get hot, I've got a new thing of peanuts here, so I'm going to cut into them. I found the easiest way to put them into the easy to use container is to cut a triangular cut between these corners here and the middle. And I found that pours easily. And since I'm still waiting for that frying pan to get hot, I'm going to pick over my cilantro. This is just as it came from the garden. And it is definitely both delicious. So I need to go over it. I can't just chop it off. I have to, or I'd end up with a lot of tough stem. So I'm just picking off the leaves and the tender flower bits. This is feeling hot, so I'm going to add a little peanut oil. Start with my carrots. Yeah, hear that good sizzle. I'm going to get these spread out and the lid back on so they cook more quickly. This is sure the time of year for flowers. My side shooting broccoli is trying its hardest to bolt. Need to really keep on top of it to keep it harvested, because this is a California spring. That is, in all other places it is still winter, but here everything is saying spring is here. Oh, let's get a nice cook on it. Yeah. All right, I'm going to scoop them all up to the side. Give it a little fish sauce. And spread it back out and let it cook open so that it cooks off more of that water. Cooking with the lid closed is a great way to express the water out of the vegetables, but then you got to open it up so that the steam can escape. Dry them back out. Okay, yeah, now when I stir it, I can see the bottoms browning. That's just what we want. All right, those are nicely browned. I'll remove them to my prep plate. A little more oil, and now I'm going to toast my mushroom pieces. I'm actually going to start by adding a little bit of fish sauce to them, still in the container, so I can mix them up thoroughly. Get that fish sauce embedded in all of the bits. I'm going to want to keep stirring these. There's so many small, fine bits that something's going to want to burn. And you really want all mushrooms to be well cooked to be ideally digestible. Some people can get very bad digestive troubles from eating uncooked mushrooms. And we humans can't get the nutrition value out of them unless they're cooked. Okay, that's nicely browned, so I'm going to remove them. And now while there's all that nice bits in there, I'm going to give it a little more peanut oil and saute the garlic. Stir that around to pick up all of the mushroom bits. And now that that's started to cook, I'm going to also give it the shallots. A splash of fish sauce. And that's not going to want to come out of the pan. You need a persuader. And that is cooked enough. Okay, so I cleaned out the pan after the mushroom and garlic because it got really sticky with stuff. So it's dry. I'm going to add a bit more peanut oil. I like peanut oil for anything that's in the Thai family because it's such a distinctive flavor that works well for that. But if you're allergic to peanut, then please use another neutral oil. And because these are so wet, I'm going to start by adding my salt. That helps encourage the water to come out. Get these flattish and then cover them. All right, let's check in on these zooks. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's starting to get a little brown. I want them to lose as much water as possible. Okay, I think that's about as far as I can take it without them getting soggy. Okay, the last thing is hot up that sausage a bit. It is already cooked, but it'll be better if I give it a little saute before it actually goes into the fried rice. Okay, the edges are starting to brown, so I'm going to call that good enough. Okay, so the next thing to cook is the rice. So first I'm going to take my wok ring, fit it to the burner. Now I'm going to turn this up to high. It's about halfway between the highest mark and the middle mark. So this is getting warm much more quickly than the cast iron because it is much thinner. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of peanut oil. Rotate to coat. Now I'm going to want to let this get to the shimmer point before I add the rice. That is, the oil in the pan will begin to shimmer. And that's the point right before it's going to start to smoke. So I don't want to let it get that far. Okay, starting to see that shimmer, so I'm going to give it one more rotation and then start to add my rice. Yes, you can hear it immediately start to cook as it hits the oil. It's just what I want. Okay, so now I'm going to add some fish sauce. I'm adding that early so it has a chance to dry back out and let the rice get crispy with a little bit of that salt and umami. And so this is a really good utensil for, this is a specialized wok spatula. It fits the inside diameter of the wok, and I can use it to push the rice around and get a nice even coat. Hear that sizzle? All right, I'm going to give it a stir. See, I want to let as much steam escape as I can. All right, looks like it's time for another stir. Yeah, when I turn it over, you can see some of it is getting a little crispy. That's just what I want. And it's really wanting to stick, so I'm going to use this to scrub the pan, get as much of that off as I can to leave all of the surface area to crisp and crunch the rice. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Oh yeah, that's what I want to see. Yeah, getting there. Okay, at this point I like checking to see how far it is along by grabbing a bit of it between my fingers and seeing how much of it feels like, basically like Rice Krispies, because I want most of it to have that feel, and we are not there yet. So this process, I find, takes at least 10 minutes, sometimes more if the rice has stayed moist in the fridge. Okay, that is definitely done. Okay, so now I'm going to scrape it all to the side while I prep my eggs. So I'm going to crack my eggs into this small bowl. Whoa! Escapee! I'm going to beat the eggs up and add a little pinch of salt and beat them up until they are completely even and uniform. All right, that looks good. Now I'm going to get the rice as much out of the bottom of the wok as I can and turn the heat back on to low. Now I'm going to add a little bit of oil in the bottom. And now I'm going to pour the egg into that little pool of oil. Now, I'm just going to scrape it because it's going to cook from the bottom up. So I'm going to keep scraping it out so the raw egg touches the bottom of the pan and starts to cook gently. Okay, while that's cooking, I'm going to microwave up my peas. Gonna work the cooked egg in. Now that's about done. Okay, now it's final assembly. So there needs to be nothing between you and eating dinner. So I've got the heat off. I'm gonna mix in this ginger. Start stirring this up. Add in all of the cooked stuff. Now I'm going to add my cilantro, a bunch of peanuts, and mix it up. And here's my fried rice. It's such a nice crunch from little bits of rice and the tender bits of egg, spicy bits of sausage. Yep, that is a fried rice. I hope you enjoy this fried rice as much as I do. See you next time.